What's up, guys? We're back once again, and it's been a minute since we've been going over Van Helsing the series, and now that it has come to a close, I recently was able to catch up on it, and I figure I have done videos on it. It's been more than a year, I think, since I dropped my last video I did, which looking at it now, it was in 2020. Now that we have the series has been concluded, and I want to give my thoughts on it. What were my thoughts about the series finale? Did it get better? Did it get worse? And again, if you guys have not seen the series finale, you guys have not seen anything of season 5, go check this out. Or if you guys want to go watch this, you don't want to be spoiled, then click off the video and go check it out. But first off, the whole ordeal, I'm going to try to phrase it like this. The whole ordeal of this season was trying to kill the Dark One. And what we had was, of course, Trisha Helfer returning as Dracula, but also playing as the character Olivia. And again, it was interesting, but it was weird of how what exactly was Dracula in this, because Dracula, to everyone's knowledge, was a man that made a deal with the devil or was turned somehow. And in this variation, it was a spiritual essence, demonic presence that went into the Dragul name of Olivia, the character that Trisha Helfer played. Now, again, the character Vanessa was not in here very much. Kelly Overton, she was not in here rarely at all this season. She appeared, I would say, 4 or 5 episodes max, which again is not bad, but at the same time, it didn't really help, because again, the entirety of this season was to get Vanessa back and to kill the Dark One. And I would say in the first half, they focused on Jack going back to the past, trying to kill Dracula, and she failed. And then she put herself into a Van Helsing coma, is pretty much what it is. And then it focuses on Violet. Now, Violet, again, she has Axel. She's got, Julius, because Julius and Axel, they're helping out. And then we got, of course, other ones that helps. Ivory, she helps as well. Now, I will say that overall, it was more interesting. And I will say, I think out of the entire series, my favorite characters in this was, I liked Vanessa. Axel, I felt bad for Axel during the entirety of this, because I felt Axel really went through pure hell. And I'm going to go into this. The Doc story is taken care of. Flesh is no longer there. Muhammad's gone. Sam is gone. Finally, I know a lot of people wanted Sam gone. But again, Trisha Helfer returning as Olivia / Dracula really, I don't know if I would say helped the series, but I will say, out of all the Van Helsings, I'd have to say either Jack or Vanessa was probably my favorite. Well, I like Scarlet too, and I don't like the way that they killed Scarlet. So that really upset me, because I was like, wait a minute, she's a badass character. Why'd you kill her off? But they did, and again, I don't know the reason why they did, and I found it to be really, really stupid. I liked Jack because she was really driven. I think her story made more sense, especially of how you figure out how her going back to the past is what initially helped create the Van Helsing line, because of Olivia's baby that she has with her husband. When everything goes down, we see how, of course, Bathory turned into the Oracle, how Jack, gave the name. Well, and initially, Abraham Van Helsing was named after Jack, so we see Jack Abraham Van Helsing, which was very interesting because we do see that they're the reason why that they, even though they are the heir to Olivia / Dracula in a way, because they are ultimately her downfall. Now, Vanessa taking the Dark One in, especially after having a massive power boost, just using powers, which was rather interesting and also kind of stupid at the same time, because the whole powers with the Dark One and the powers Vanessa got kind of was out there. It really was. The whole powers that certain vampires had really was kind of I felt like a shot in the dark, and sometimes it was a hit and miss. And same thing to where I felt like Axel's story and Vanessa's story still intertwined, because it's still where Axel, even though he was given Medal of Honor and he was a decorated soldier, he still was loyal to Vanessa after everything, even after he blamed her after Scarlett's death, even after everything. She took in the Dark One and she went into her sleep, and she supposedly reunited with Dylan and her best friend. Don't know if this is something in her mind or if it's the Dark One, but somehow or other Vanessa was going to be the vessel to hold the Dark One. That way Olivia could live out her final days the way she was intended, even though it's in a new century. And also we have where Axel's now an officer. The former president is back in office. Jack and Ivory, I think that was a good building to their relationship, but also I did not like how the way they left Ivory, because Ivory, I will say, was a very badass character, and she actually slowly became one of my favorite characters, but I did not like how they just left it to the fact of was not exactly knowing what's going to happen to her, going after the rest of her sisterhood to see if there's any more sisters out there, because we're all sitting here thinking, okay, well, they're probably dead, or there's no more left, and there could be, and she just meets this unknown stranger that could be a familiar face, which again, we don't know who she is. And Violet, I guess, doing whatever, helping Olivia recoup. Now again, at first I didn't care for Violet, and then slowly I did enjoy her character, but out of the two sisters, I think Jack is my favorite. And I think that makes more sense in a way to have the two sisters, but again, I felt like they were leaning it towards more Violet to be the so-called savior rather than Vanessa or Jack even. So I'm a little unsure exactly what the writers were intending to do, because I didn't feel like they were doing something to where we really understood what was going on. So, and when I say that, it means we weren't exactly sure which Van Helsing was going to take the L or the W. But again, am I happy with the way the series ended? Not particularly. I think that with Ivory, I would love to see a spinoff of her if they're going to continue her story somehow, some way. With Jack, I'd love to see what she wants to do, if she's going to wait for Ivory or want to start a family on her own. Same thing with Violet. If she's going to make a family of her own, are they going to stay in the walls? Are they going to, did killing Dracula or putting her or him away, did it, handle all the rest of the vampires? What did it do? What exactly was the goal to make sure that even though when she made that burst of energy to make fresh vampires, and when she died or was put back in, did it take them all back to, brought them back to normal or human? And then we don't know what happened outside the wall of DC. So again, there are a lot of unanswered questions, and I think that's what really hurt the series. But at the same time, certain characters had a lot of growth. Flesh, he had a lot of character development. Doc had a lot of character development. I think the main characters had a lot of character development was probably Axel, Vanessa, and Julius. Julius, he was probably one of my favorite characters. Just his story of trying to be a loyal friend, a loyal son, and a good person. And he ended up going down the wrong path, and then he came back and he really redeemed himself, doing all he did to help Vanessa, to help the girls, to help Axel, to help the world. And his name would go down in, human history of protecting, the saviors that protected humanity and saved humanity. So I think that was pretty interesting, but I didn't like his character dying because I think, well, again, I think the way he went out like a true, I would say a true champion and a true warrior. Vanessa, again, her going back in her deep sleep, I was kind of disappointed with that. I was kind of hoping maybe they would do something to watch over her, because again, it just seems like they did the same thing that happened in the beginning, and Axel just kind of went back to, a full circle, and I think that was kind of messed up in a way, but it also made sense because of him, losing Scarlet, losing Julius, losing Vanessa again, having to hate and care about Vanessa and care about the kids and everything that's happened. So it's pretty interesting that there are certain ones where you think it was going to happen, where like, okay, is this going to happen to this character? Because Doc had her happy ending. Axel, again, he's being a loyal friend, loyal soldier to Vanessa. And again, a lot of characters died. But overall, am I satisfied? Once again, no, I am not. I think that there's certain characters that deserved a better send-off, I guess you'd say, because we don't know exactly how long Vanessa's going to be asleep / into her coma. It could be years, could be centuries, until something happens. Same thing with Ivory. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with her. We don't know exactly if she's going to find more of her sisterhood, or if there's any more to begin with, or if she's going to find like another species or a hybrid or something. We don't know exactly what's going to happen to Jack or Violet or now Olivia. Now, is there anything left of the Dark One in Olivia? We don't know if there is anything that could be done to the fact of, could the Dark One come back if Vanessa somehow gets overtaken or weakened after so long, or do they got to come up with a way to get the Dark One out and put her in some kind of a another vessel or some type of containment unit, something to get Vanessa back to them. Who knows? But again, the series is done. I figure I go ahead and give my thoughts on this, because again, I am a fan of this series, but I have a love and hate relationship with this series. I really do. There are things about the series I liked. There are things about it I did not like. Now, again, there was a lot of unparticular reasons of why people think that, I guess, that the story was having issues. Now, again, there has been so many of, why did it get canceled? Why did it get canceled? Why did it get canceled? The way I felt like it did, and from everything that I've been reading, is, I guess, with, again, with the virus going around and other shows getting canceled, and then I guess ratings is what really killed it, I think, because again, it's really, there's so many articles, but again, what's really true, guys. So again, let me know what you guys thought about Van Helsing for the season finale, or the series finale. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you hate it? Was there things about it you did not like? Was there things about it you did like throughout the season? I'd like to know. What was your characters you liked? What characters did you dislike? Again, this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. You can agree with me. That's perfectly fine. But let's have a great conversation down in the comments down below. If you guys are new, always consider about subscribing. Leave a big fat like on the video if you guys enjoyed. It helps greatly get the algorithm. Also, clear notifications so you guys are notified every time I upload. And as always, I'll see you guys on the very next one.